Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Build a House, where we are building a nocturnal house this time. We started 2 episodes ago by building the groundwork for this beautiful house, that it's going to be at some point. I hope so. And in the last episode we built the first habitat for the first animal that's moved in. That was the fennec foxes. We have a pair of 2 of them. You can see them right here in the backstage area. We do have 2 separate backstage areas that are connected to each other, so that you actually could separate the animals. That was the word. That you actually could separate the animals if they give birth or if they don't get along with each other. If you get a new animal and you have to introduce it slowly to the other ones, and yeah, that's the whole point. And we have the nice huge, no, it's not huge, it's the nice big indoor habitat for the foxes where our visitors actually can see the animals. In today's episode we're going to build for the next animals, and yeah, it's a pretty short episode, just 24 minutes, because all we do is build the habitat for the kiwis. Yeah, next episode next week is going to take a little bit longer, as we're going to do a lot more in the nocturnal house. I am planning on finishing the habitat, the last habitat on the left side in this row of the building, which is going to be either for the Tasmanian devils or for the wombat. You can let me know in the comment section which animal you want to see first of both of them. The other one is going to move in on the opposite side of the building. Same size of the habitat, same shape of the habitat, but just different side. I was thinking, just because we do have some kind of a tropical habitat here for the kiwi birds, it would make more sense for the devils to move in. But yeah, as I said, just let me know in the comment section what you think and what animals you want to see in the next episode. But we're not talking about the next episode right now, we're talking about what happens today. Backstage area is going to be pretty similar to the backstage area of the fennec fox. We're going to have 2 separate areas, one which is mainly for food and the other one which is mainly for yeah, I wanted to say retirement of the animals. Nope. Which is mainly for sleeping. The animals can use both of the backstage areas. As I said, for the fennec fox, it's just if you need to separate the animals that you would actually have a chance to do so, as we only are having 1 indoor habitat. So yeah, actually you also would be able to keep one of the animals completely in those both sections of the backstage area, and the other one on the front side where our visitors, our guests, can view the animals. Yeah, as I said, the indoor habitat is quite a little bit different to the one that we did for the fennec fox, even though still pretty similar to one point, as it is the same design, because everything here in this house needs to be cohesive, everything needs to work well together. So yeah, style is completely the same, but the interior is going to be very different. The fennec fox is a desert animal, and the kiwi bird is more like a tropical animal. So there's the main difference in those 2 habitats. Yeah, first of all, I did the structural work on the habitats, building all the walls and the frames for the windows, but not putting the windows in right now because it would make it pretty difficult for me to do the interior work when the windows would be in there. The perfect thing for this short episode, or because of this episode is so short, I didn't have to cut out any single thing this time, because it was pretty quick. Yeah, as you can see, the main focus was copying things around, make it look the same, making some minor changes. That is something that we're going towards the end of the video. I decided, I think I said it in the last video, with these Fennec Fox statues, I didn't know if I wanted to keep them in there. I was not too happy with them because we don't have anything similar for all of the other animals that are going to move in here, especially for the aardvark. We don't have anything for the aardvark. We don't have any statue or whatsoever. We don't have a wallpaper or something like that. So I decided we have to remove the Fennec Fox statues, which is going to happen towards the end of the video, as I said. And we're making some minor changes on the outside of the habitat as well. So for the viewing area, I'm keeping the second fencing that I have there because yeah, I wanted it to look very much like a museum. I told you this in the last episode, Museum of Natural History in New York City, which I love. Said that in the last episode as well. So I kept that, but I was not happy with the signs. To be completely honest, the day that I built this habitat was a pretty hard day for me. I told you guys many times that I sometimes struggle with mental health, and that day I had maybe the biggest struggle that I ever had, and I was not in a very good headspace at that day, and I just wanted it to be finished and just wanted to have a video out, which usually I don't think like that. Usually I think yeah, I want to give you quality content. And at that point I just was happy that I finished something that looked quite nice, that I can show you guys. Yeah, but I'm doing better now, and so I made some minor changes that make a difference, I would say. But you're going to see that in the end as well. So for the indoor habitat, why do I say for the indoor habitat? As if we would have an outdoor habitat for the animals. We don't have any outdoor habitat for the animals in the nocturnal house, so that is not going to happen for none of the animals. They all are being kept completely indoors. So yeah, we're going to have some outdoor habitats for the next project, which is definitely going to be a cat house. I promise you guys that. But this time, no outdoor habitats. Yeah, for the viewing part of the habitat, let's call it that way, I decided I wanted to have some natural water in there, so that we don't need any water supplies as we do have for the Fennec Fox. I think I put something in the habitat in the backstage area for them. Didn't want to have something like that for the kiwi birds, so I'm trying to do something like a little pond for every habitat, that it would make sense and that it would be possible as well, because we have limited space in here, because the habitats are all pretty small. So yeah, we have to be very careful with what we put in here. Yeah. Yeah, that's also why I have to be careful with the animal enrichment items that we do have. Especially when it comes to the kiwi birds, we have these big feeders where they need to dig for the food. You know what I mean? That is also possible for for almost every monkey species that we do have here in the game, and also for some of the pigs, I guess. So that is something that totally doesn't work in those small habitats because it would take so much space, so I decided we're not going to have that. But we do have these termite hills for the animals, and that fit in perfectly and makes a very great scenery piece as well. So win-win, I would say. But you're going to see that later. Putting down a feeder in the backstage area so that the animals actually would have a reason to go there. Putting down some bedding on both sides this time because I thought it wouldn't make sense when I put down the bedding on just one side, because if we had to separate the animals, both of them want to have a little bit of a nap in there, and a little bit of faux rock work. And here you can see the natural water supply is really tiny, so but it's enough for the animals to take care of their thirst. Working with the faux rocks here as well as some kind of a wallpaper. It looks pretty nice when you look at the backstage area later on. I really like that. Usually when you do something like that, you don't want those pieces to stick through the wall, so that you can see the stone on the other side of the wall. But in this case it looks pretty cool, and I really do love that because the whole backstage area is not looking that plain anymore after that. So you have some kind of a combination for the cleanliness of a backstage area, how you want it to be, and the nice and little bit over the top scenery from the actual viewing point of the habitat. Also working a little bit with natural rocks in there, but not too much. Just to make the habitat look a little bit more interesting. Yeah. And also something that I did for the fennec fox as well, trying to do at least a little bit of elevation in here, because if you have it too plain, it would look too boring and too unreal, and so I want to have some kind of a little bit of an elevation in every habitat that we do have in here. Maybe not the walkthrough exhibits for the sloth and for the flying fox, but for all the other animals we're definitely going to have some kind of an elevation in there. Putting in my favorite plants. I'm so happy that we do have so many nocturnal animals from Oceania with the quokka that is going to move in, with the kiwi bird, the Tasmanian devil, the wombat. So I can use lots of these great plants. I do love the plants from the Oceania DLC. It is so hard for me for my DLC zoo series, where I'm actually building right now for the aquatic DLC, when I am not able to use those plants because they were part of a DLC and not of an update. And I use those plants in my sandbox builds most of the time. No matter for what animal I am building, there is at least one plant from the Oceania DLC that I use in every habitat, because they are, yeah, when it comes to plants, the Oceania DLC is my absolute favorite. Here, look at this fern tree alone. Amazing. And also amazing that I was able to put it in here, to be completely honest with you. Because it is huge and it is not sticking through the walls. Well, a little bit, but maybe we can do something with that in the next episode when we are going to build, most likely for the Tasmanian Devil, but you let me know. Yeah, but as I said, I took care of everything. No plant is going to stick through windows, through roofs or whatever. We're going to make this as clean as possible. And I'm also trying to make it pretty realistic. So we're going to take care of the backstage area next week as well. So yeah, pretty excited for that. Maybe if we do have a little more time, I'm also planning on covering our toilets, which are on the right side of this habitat, and also the yeah, I think I called it feeding kitchen, where the food for the animals here in the nocturnal house will be prepared. I'm thinking of going in there as well, if there is enough time, because I don't want to have an XXL episode. If we can't do that, so there's only going to be the backstage area, the habitat for the devils, and that's it. And then we're going to do the feeding kitchen in the next episode, maybe. Yeah, that would be a great thing, because in the episode afterwards, when we're going around in a circle here in the building, then the next habitat would be a walkthrough exhibit, maybe for the flying foxes, and I assume that this won't take too much time, so that we might have time in the end for creating the feeding kitchen as well. Yeah, I think that would be a great plan. So next episode, devils or wombats and the backstage area, and the episode afterwards we're going to have the feeding kitchen and the flying foxes. Yeah, here you can already see I wanted to have something on the wall for the animals, for those info signs, but yeah, even that didn't feel great, so I decided I want to have something right in front of the glass. To make it look a little bit more realistic, I used those metal beams here, the small ones, to have something like a frame where you actually could shove the info sign in there. And we're going to have two for the fennec fox, because the glass part is a little bit bigger than for the kiwi birds, and only one for the kiwi birds. And I also used those concrete pillars in the center, right between those habitats, to give our building a nicer shape and make it look a little bit better, and so that you have a clearer sign of this habitat ends and the next one begins. So yeah, that's the reason behind that. And I think with these small changes, they make a huge difference. Once again, it's not always the big stuff that you do that makes the difference. It's most of the times it's the small things. And I think with those changes, throwing away the fennec fox statues, putting in the new signs for the animals, and putting down these concrete pillars, it looks totally different. It looks totally different, and I think it looks a little bit more professional and realistic. Or what do you guys think? Yeah. We also need to work on a centerpiece or more centerpieces, planters or something like that for the center of our building, because the area for the visitors is pretty huge and we do have some space to fill in, so we're definitely going to build some more of these custom-made seating areas. Which we did for the reptile house as well. There's going to be some of that in here as well. And as I said, we are going to need some planters in there. It took me quite some time to find the right sign, or as well the right enrichment items for the kiwi, because it is quite different to find. First I thought it was just called kiwi. I searched for K, didn't find it. Then I thought it was the striped kiwi. Looking for S, didn't find it. And then I found out that it is actually the northern striped brown kiwi or something like that. So yeah, how would you find that? But in the end I found it. I gave them those enrichment items, I found the correct signage, and yeah, we are good to go to get the animals in here. I was checking if my zoo staff could actually go into the habitat and take care of the animals. Everything is fine, and even the birds can go everywhere. Just a few more scenery pieces and then we are done for today. So I'm leaving you guys with the real-time part at night. I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. If you did so, leave a like, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any other stuff that is coming to this channel in the future. And yeah, hope you tune in next week on Monday when we are going to continue to build the night. Bye guys!